And let's see what type of questions they're going to hit you guys with. So let's start with the very first question, guys. It says, number one, for positive acute angles, so I would probably underline the word acute, so you don't really have to do much thinking here. So all the angles are acute. A and B, it is known that sine A is 9 over 41 and cosine B is 3 over 5. Find the value of cosine A minus B in simplest form. Hold on. Let's do that real quick.
Good morning. Pardon the interruption. If I can have all advisory teachers send down one student to the front office, all advisory teachers please send down one student to the front office. Thank you.
Sharella, do you want to go? Only because everyone else is in pre-cal, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, miss. All right, guys, so here we go. First and foremost, do you remember what cosine A minus B is? Oh, I don't know, it's been a long time. Cosine A minus B, look at your notes, is cosine A, cosine B, plus or minus? Plus sine A, sine B. So then you say, which one do you already have? You have sine A, it tells you right there, 9 over 41, and you have cosine B. So you need cosine A and you need sine B. Chavez, how am I going to get those? Simple. You make acute angles, and remember that sine and cosine are just ratios of your right triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Here's a right triangle. I'm going to call that angle A. So if I call that angle A, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, opposite, 9, hypotenuse, 41. And I want to say, now don't quote me because I'm kind of rusty myself, I want to say that 9 and 41, I want to say that is one of those special triangles. I want to say this is 40. I may be wrong, I don't know. If I'm wrong, so, you know, if I'm wrong, I will not post this on YouTube. Square root 41 squared minus 9 squared. No, we got it. It's called the Pythagorean triplets, guys. You should have covered this in geometry. But sometimes you get rusty, and it's okay. If you don't know that, it's okay, guys. Just do Pythagorean theorem. 41 squared minus 9 squared. Are we okay so far? Okay, so now from that, I'm going to be able to get, what am I going to get? Cosine A. So there it is. Now I'm just missing sine B. So I'm going to draw another right triangle. And let's see, they give me cosine B. Oh, that's a simple one. This is B. And they tell me that 3 and 5, because cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So if that's adjacent over hypotenuse, what is that long leg for? Both are special right triangles. 3, 4, 5, 9, 40, 41. Okay, that's it. We're done. We just plug in. So we're going to, here we go, equals cosine A. Well, they don't give it to me, but I have it right here. So I'm going to write it here on the side. Cosine A is 40 over 41. So I write 40 over 41 times cosine B, that is given 3/5, I just got it from there, plus sine A, that's given 9 over 41, and then sine B is 4 over 5. Are we okay so far, guys? The denominators look like they're going to be the same, 41 times 5. So let me see what that is. 41 times 5. I guess we don't need a calculator. You can probably just do it faster by hand. 205. We're okay so far? 40 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. So add a 0, 120 plus 9 times 4. What's that? 36. So 120 plus 36, 20. 30, 40, 50. 156 over 205. I don't think it reduces. We'll find out though. 156 over 205. 156 over 205. Enter, math, fraction, enter. Nope, it doesn't reduce. 156 over 205 is your answer. And there it is. That's in simplest form. What'd you guys think? Was that cool? Awesome. And that's it, guys. That's all you're doing. Let's keep going. It does get tougher, but I don't think these are super crazy. This one says, if tan A equals 28 over 45 and sine B equals 24 over 25, and angles A and B are in quadrant 1. So because they're in quadrant 1, both angles are acute. They're less than 90 degrees. So there's no thinking. They're all positive. You'll see right now, because in a little bit you're going to have to determine whether the angle is positive or negative. Find the value of tan A plus B. You go to your notes. Do you remember what tan A plus B is? Oh, man.
I know it's a fraction, right?
It's a fraction.
There's a number 1 in there.
Yeah, there is. There's the one in the bottom left-hand corner. What is the top? Tan A plus or minus? Plus tan B over 1 minus tan A tan B. They're not hard to remember. For your unit exam, which is probably sometime next week, there is no cheat sheet. You're going to have to know those guys. For the 9 weeks exam, I'll let you do a little cheat sheet. And then for the semester exam, I'll give you all the formulas that you need. But for the unit exam, no cheat sheet. You just got to know it. Is that hard to memorize? No, it's not hard to memorize. All right, let's figure out our numbers. We already got tan A. We need to figure out tan B. So let's get tan B by the sine B here. So you're going to draw a right triangle. Here's angle B. And you can draw a quadrant 1 if you wanted to, but we know it's an acute. So there it is. And then sine is opposite over hypotenuse, so 24, 25. I need to figure out what this length is down here. I want to say that this is another special one, but you know what? Let's just do it. 25 squared minus 24 squared. So I'll take my calculator, and here we go. Square root 25 squared minus 24 squared, enter. So yeah, it is. It's 7. So 7. So tan B, what is tan B? Remember the tan is opposite over hypotenuse? Opposite over adjacent. So 24 over 7. All right, we got everything we need, guys. Here we go. Tan A, 28 over 45 plus 24 over 7 minus, or over 1 minus 28 over 45 times 24 times 24 over 7. I think I got everything correct, right? And then I would just, if you want to do common denominator and all that good stuff, you can. I would just use your calculator. So I'm going to use the fraction feature of the calculator. So check it out. I'm just going to push alpha y equals, enter. And I'm just going to type it like this. Alpha y equals again, enter. What did I have first? 28 over 45 plus, what did I have? 24 over 7. And in the bottom I had a 1 minus, and then the product was 28 over 45 times, perfect. And you can see I'm making it look exactly like what I have. Oh, let me do the alpha. You can use an Inspire as well. The Inspire is probably faster. 24 over, oh, come on buddy, delete 7. And it should give me a fraction, but if it doesn't, I'll tell it to give me a fraction. There it is. That's an ugly fraction. 12, negative 1276, I guess. Negative. I don't like it, but I don't see any errors. Do you guys see any errors? Yeah, I don't like it, but that's fine. Yep, it doesn't reduce. Negative 1276 over 357. Negative 1276 over 357. And that's it, guys. What you guys think? Yeah, not bad at all. All right, here we go. Another one. Don't worry, they're gonna get a little tougher as we get to the UH ones. But for the most part, you don't have to think too much. It says, given that cosine x is square root of 17 over 5, so now we have radicals here, and that sine y is square root of 2 over 2, and that the angles x and y are both in quadrant 1, so that means both angles are acute, so there's not much thinking. Find the exact value of the cosine x plus y in simplest radical form. Okay, first and foremost, do you know what cosine x plus y is? Yeah, cosine x, cosine y, plus or minus? Minus sine x, sine y. You go to you draw a right triangle. If you want, I guess let's start doing stuff in quadrant 1. So here it is. Quadrant 1, I exaggerate it. Here's angle x. Cosine is square root of 17 over 5. So there's adjacent over hypotenuse. So if I want to figure out that opposite side, I'm going to go 5 squared minus square root of 17 squared. So that gives me 25 minus 17. What's that? 17, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7. Square root of 7. Let me know if I make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, guys. 5, 6, 7, 17, 18, 19. Or the square root of 8. 17 to 25. What's the difference? 5, 6, 7, 8. Square root of 8. That's square root of 8. But square root of 8, doesn't it break down further? Yeah, 2. Square root of 2, no? 4 times 2 is 8. It's all good. It's all good. So there it is, guys. Square root of 8. All right. So we got, what do we got? So that's going to give us sine x. Perfect. Now I need, what do I need? Cosine y. So here it is. I'm going to do it in blue so you can realize that it's a different angle here. This is angle y. Square root of 2 over 2. That's going to be square root of 2 probably, right? Yeah. So square root of, so let's see, 2 squared minus square root of 2 squared. So that's 4 minus 2. So you're going to have square root of 2 again. So there it is. We got all our answers. And here we go, guys. Equals cosine x. Cosine x is given right there. Square root of 17 over 5. Cosine y. Did they give me cosine y? Nope. Go to the y. Cosine y is square root of 2 over 2. It's the same as sine y. I'm looking at this triangle. Adjacent over hypotenuse. Minus sine x. Sine x is opposite over hypotenuse. 2 square root of 2 over 5. Sine y was given. Square root of 2 over 2. I don't see any mistakes. 17 times 2, and that's square root of 34. Square root of 34 over 10 minus 2 times 2, that's 4 over 10. Does the square root of 34 break down? I'll tell you real quick. Square root 34. Nope. So your final answer is square root of 34 minus 4 over 10. How do we feel, guys? Pretty easy? Yeah, it's not that bad at all. All right, let's keep going. Don't worry, we're almost done. So here, the question number 5 is like the hard one. Question 4 says, use the appropriate angle sum formula to simplify the following expression. Cosine, cosine, sine, sine, with a minus in the middle. So I'm going to use what? Cosine A plus B, where A is 4x and B is 6x, right? So all you're going to do, guys, is just add them up. Cosine 4x plus 6x, cosine 10x, done. That's it. If none of this is making sense to you, it's because you probably missed last week. We're just using formulas. Okay, here we go. This is a UH question. It gets harder only because now they tell me what quadrant I am in. So they tell me cosine x is 1/6 and I'm in quadrant 1, Q1. And they tell me cosine y is 1/4 and I'm in quadrant 4. 270 to 360, that's quadrant 4. Find cosine x plus y. So before I even start, I start with my formula. Cosine x plus y is cosine x, cosine y plus or minus, minus sine x, sine y. Let's see what I have. I have cosine x, that's given, and I have cosine y, that's given. So I have the left-hand side. I need sine x and sine y. Do you guys want me to use different colors for both of them? Okay, so I'm going to find this one in green. So here we go. I'm going to draw, this is the one that's for the x. So I'm going to draw it in quadrant 1. So I'm going to exaggerate quadrant 1. This is angle x. And cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, 1 and a 6. Are we still okay, guys? I want to figure out, oh man, I want to figure out my leg there. So all I'm going to do is Pythagorean theorem. Square root of 6 squared minus 1 squared. What is 6 squared? Minus 1? 35. I don't think it breaks down. Let's see. 6 times 5. Nope. So there it is. Leave it at square root of 35. Are we still okay, guys? All right. Now I'm going to find the sine y. I'm going to do it in blue. I'm going to do it in blue. So here we go. What quadrant is angle y in? In quadrant 4. So I'm going to exaggerate quadrant 4, guys. Exaggerate quadrant 4. There's quadrant 4. And then I just do 1 adjacent over hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is never negative, guys. 1, 4. But notice that the y value will be negative. What is 4 squared? Minus 1. So this is the square root of 15, but be careful. What am I going to put in front of it? Negative, because you're in quadrant 4. Does everyone understand that, guys? Okay, so now we go from that. If you want to, you can write it on the side here. What this is going to give you, sine y equals negative square root of 15 over 4. And then to come back in the green one that I wanted sine x. Sine x is square root of 35 over 6. If you're in quadrant 1, it's always going to be positive. All right, we're done. Now we're just going to plug stuff in. So you can see, I'm going to go back to red. Cosine x, they give it to me, 1/6. Cosine y, they give me that one also, 1/4. Minus sine x, square root of 35 over 6. Sine y, negative square root of 15 over 4. Is everyone okay so far? All right. 1 times 1 is 1, so 1 over 24. Negative times a negative is a, so I'm going to change that to a plus. 35 times 15, I don't know. Let me take my calculator. 35 times 15, and I get 525. Do you guys see that? So I'm going to write it like that for now, and if it breaks down to, if it's a perfect square root, we'll break it down a little bit. 525 over 24. I don't see 525 in there. It's probably because we can break it down. So let's see. I know 20. How many quarters does it take for me to have $5.25? 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. How many? 21. Sure. Are you for sure? Okay. I'm gonna take your word. So what's the square root of 25? 5. So then I have this now. 1 over 24 plus 5 square root of 21 over 24. Are we okay? All right. Now just add them up, guys. Same denominator. 1 plus 5 square root of 21 over 24. How do we feel? Okay. Do we have any questions on that? I can't read minds, guys, so let me know. Yeah, ask.
Why did you put it to addition?
Oh, right here. Negative times a negative turns into a... Thank you for asking, miss. Always ask.
Hey, there's 2 number 5.
There is? Oh, chucks. That's fine. Okay. Is this the last one? This is the last one, and then we'll get you guys started. You guys ready?
Yeah.
This one wants sine x minus y. So I'm going to first expand what sine x minus y is. Is this the first time we've done a sine one? I think so. All right, what's the formula for sine? Let's start with the sine. Sine x cosine y plus or minus? minus cosine x sine y. Guys, start looking at your notes. Sine x cosine y minus cosine x sine y. It toggles, keeps the sign, and then you reverse it. Cosine, sine. All right, let's see what they give me. Sine x, check mark. Sine y, check mark. So those are the ones they don't give me, cosine y and cosine x. We can get them though. So again, I'm going to color code it. I'm going to do the cosine y in blue. So here we go. I guess I already started in the blue, so here we go. Where is angle y in? What quadrant? It says 180 to 270. Quadrant 3. So exaggerate quadrant 3. There's quadrant 3 exaggerated. Start at the origin to draw your triangle. There's my triangle. This is angle y right here. Well, the reality is this is the angle y, but we use our reference to help us out. So now, sine is negative. So this is the negative part. The hypotenuse is never negative. So I need to figure out this side. How do I do that? Pythagorean theorem. Square root 3 squared minus negative 2 squared. So 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4, and 9 minus 4 is 5. So there's the square root of 5. So I write square root of 5. Now because I'm in quadrant 3, is that positive or negative? Negative. So make sure to put the negative in front of the square root of 5. Are we okay? So from that, I guess I'm going to go ahead and write my answer already here so I can use it. Cosine y is nothing more than negative square root of 5 over 3. I'm going to do the x one in green. I'm going to do this in green. X is between 90 and 180. What quadrant is that? 2. So I'm going to exaggerate quadrant 2. So here I am exaggerating quadrant 2. Start at the origin, draw a triangle. And they told me that cosine x is 3 over 10. So here's x, always use a reference. Opposite, hypotenuse. And I'll zoom in because I know a lot of you guys can't see. I want to figure out this leg down here. So square root 10 squared minus 3 squared. 10 squared is 100. 3 squared is 9. 100 minus 9 is square root of 91. Now because I'm in quadrant 2, this has to be negative. And what do I want from that one? I want cosine x. So on the side, I'm going to write cosine x equals negative square root of 91 over 10. How do we feel? We got everything we need. Here we go. I'm going back to red, guys. Equals, I'm just starting here. Sine x. Did they give me sine x? 3/10. Close, open. Cosine y. I needed it. Here it is. Negative square root of 5 over 3. Close, minus cosine x. Negative square root of 91 over 10. Close, open. Sine y. Negative 2/3. So there it is. And now I just multiply to see what that is. So negative 3 square root of 5 over 30. And it goes negative times a negative times a negative. So it's going to stay negative. Do you guys see that? And then 2 square root of 91 over 30. I don't see anything simplifying, guys. So negative 3 square root of 5 minus 2 square root of 91. It's possible that they might factor out a negative 1 if they put a parenthesis around the whole thing. Oh, they didn't even bother doing it over the same denominator. They reduced it. Okay, no big deal. They reduced it. We got the right answer. How many times does 3 go into 30? 10. So negative square root of 5 over 10 minus how many times does 2 go into 30? 15. Square root of 91 over 15. Look for that answer. Which one is it? B, D, right? Square root of 5. There it is. How do we feel? Okay, the ones on delta math are simple. We're done, guys. The ones on delta math are simple, but you'll start with the delta math to get you guys warmed up. And then the ones on UH are going to be hard. Because look, the ones on UH, you got to worry about the sign. The ones on delta, they're all positive. They're all in quadrant 1. They're all acute angles. So start with the delta math. Do that one first. And then we'll say an attempt for UH by, what's today, Monday? Attempt UH by Thursday, have it finalized by next week, by Monday of next week. Okay, so take care of Delta, guys.